Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So first of all, I just want to kind of talk about or apologize for not posting this video when it should be posted. So this series is supposed to be posted on Mondays. Obviously it's not that regular yet because I've only recorded I think 3 of these. So yeah, of course, I'm still new to this and everything like that, so I know it's not very regular yet, but these videos will be posted on Mondays, and they have been, so there's really this is the only one that hasn't been filmed on a Monday. Again, I know there's only 3 out right now, but yes, so I apologize for that. I know this is being posted on a Thursday, which is definitely not Monday, but I'm hoping that you guys can forgive me and still enjoy the video. So I will be posting one next Monday. This won't change anything like that. And I still will be posting the RP. I just got things got out of hand because I went away and I didn't have I didn't get back till Tuesday, so I didn't really have the time to film this and whatever. So yeah, that is the kind of explanation of why I didn't post this on Monday. But today I'm going to be talking about my worst roleplay experiences. I haven't done a role in 6 months, or around that time. I don't track it, but it's been quite a while. So I am kind of doing this off of memory, and I have some written down, so that'll help. But yeah, I've just never had good experiences with roles, and that's why I stopped doing them all around. I've just found other things to do in Star Stable because roles aren't worth my time, honestly. So I'm gonna be sharing some of my worst experiences, and hopefully you guys can share this laugh with me. So a few quick disclaimers. One, I'm absolutely terrible at races, so yeah, that's one thing. Another thing is that I just want to say that these roleplay experiences, sorry, some of them are a little bit weird, so brace yourselves. I don't know, this could possibly be taken down, so I don't know. I'm just gonna be completely honest. You know what? I had to live through this, and now you get to live through it too. So sorry about that. But yeah, some of these are just downright concerning. So obviously that's a quick little disclaimer, and you're just gonna have to prepare your ears because nothing's awful. I'm not gonna I'm gonna keep it PG, but it's just it may not be G. So diving right in, I thought I would start with a little bit more of a mellow one. This is not really bad at all. So there was this one time, this is actually one of the more I think recent ones. It was one of the last ones that I did, and this is not this wasn't one of those. It was the breaking point. It was just one of the last role plays I did coincidentally, and it was a pony camp role, and I brought my I think I brought my Welsh pony, I believe, and I went to Moreland, that's where it was hosted, and I got my little outfit on. I was actually with one of my friends, and we were you know what, we're gonna suffer this together, and we went to the role, and once I got there were a bunch of girls and a bunch of ponies. And I think my first red flag was that we were all split into different groups, and it was supposed to be different cabins. So we used Silverglade Village as quote-unquote cabins, and now that I think of it, the Yorvik riding camp probably would have been really good for this, but whatever. So yeah, we used these little cabin things, or the houses in Silverglade Village as cabins. And I remember there was, I don't know if it was purposeful, but there was one boy, I don't understand, there was a lot of people in this role. There was 15 people, 15 to 17 people, because there were it was an instructor, a helper or a trainer, and then all of the pony, the campers or whatever you want to call them. And there was 3 groups, and we were split into obviously 3 groups, so it was 5 per person. But again, I guess it was just like perfect. I'm not sure. They did say like this many girls needed, and like it was like 1 boy needed. And it was like 1 boy needed in like the advertisement where I joined. But technically there ended up being 1 boy in each group, and this this is just like, I don't know, I was like, okay, why is there like 1 boy in each group? And as the rules were kind of being explained, obviously the overall roleplay was in Say Chat because of how big it was, but there were groups for all of the quote-unquote cabins, and we all had to like introduce ourselves in our like group chat, and it was pretty fun and dandy at first, until they were like, okay, so the boys are gonna be the instructors and you have to listen to them because, you know, they are the, oh my goodness, they are the alphas. And I was like, wait, what? And I was just, first of all, I was just so confused. I was like, you mean leader? Like, what's going on here? Why would you use, out of all words, that? And I just couldn't. And then they were like, yeah, and you guys are all gonna be like the female wolves. And I just lost it at this point. So then I was like, wait, I thought it was a rider role or whatever. And they were like, oh no, we're gonna pretend that the ponies are wolves. I lost it. And I was like, okay guys, I thought this was like a pony camp. And she was like, yeah, we just advertise it as a pony camp because you're gonna be using them because they're the closest like size to like a big dog or a wolf. And I was like, oh great, that's absolutely amazing. And we ended up doing it. Like, it was like, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep on going, because me and my friend were in the same group, so we were just laughing at, like, we were just literally like in a friend chat just laughing it up. I mean, kidding, we were just making fun of them, because when I tell you, it was like, if you've ever been in a wild role, it was like that, but obviously you're dogs. So yeah. And I remember they started, it was like, okay, this is the what's it called, I don't know, it was like a certain song that we had to sing every single night in the role play, and it was the song from, I guess, I know you can probably guess, from like the I'm the Alpha, I'm the Leader, which, by the way, I've never even watched the movie and I didn't know where it came from until like I looked it up a few months ago. But yeah, we had to put it in chat, and I I don't know, again, it's not like an awful roleplay experience, like it didn't haunt me, but it was just so weird, and I honestly was just so confused. And they had us do like these really weird things. They had us like bark at people who weren't in the roleplay, like just innocent people in Moorland. And by the way, we didn't like stay in Moorland, obviously. We're not a bunch of rabid dogs in a stables. I think we went to like Greendale Forest or something, I don't even know, but yeah. So that was that. It was really weird. Again, it wasn't like the worst experience, but it was just really weird, because why? Just why? Like, I don't know, join like a wolf game or something if you want to do a wolf role play. I don't even know. Like, we stay there for crap and giggles, but I don't know. So yeah, that's the first one. Okay, so sorry. The next one that I'm going to kind of get into is another one that I was just like, what is going on? So I joined this wild role, and it was in Mistfall, and it was me. And by the way, the breeds are like important to the storyline or whatever. Like, what I'm about to tell you, it relates to the breed. So just listen to this. So I think I was a Belgian, and there was Shire, who was my friend. There was a Lipizzanner. There was, and I think there was another mare. So the Lipizzanner was the mare. That's also important to this. the Lipizzaner was a mare. Now, if you aren't completely like aware, if you don't play this game, or if you've never bought them, you've never seen them, they're chunky horses. They have really big bellies, and they're honestly adorable, but they are chunky horses. So if you have an idea about kind of like where I'm going with this, it'll be easier to kind of tell later on. So just hang it there. So as this roleplay is going on, it was actually not that bad. Again, I never had good experiences with roles, which is why I only did them for like 2 months before just completely quitting. But I remember there was this like the girl who had the Lipizzaner. She was like, you know what? I feel like we should add a foal into this. And I was like, oh, okay, that's whatever, because it was like one of those, like it wasn't plotted, it was just literally just a wild roll. Like I don't even know what we were doing. And I just remember she was like, okay, but it needs a father. And me and my friend, again, like I never really joined roles without my friend, because I mostly did them just like to have a fun time, and if they were bad, I just laughed the entire time with them. But this time, well, not this time, it didn't change. Like, obviously, we were still there just to have fun together. But me and her were the only, like, geldings, or I guess in this case, stallions. So it was really awkward, because we were like, oh, we don't want to. And first of all, I don't really, like, care about my role, because I don't think it really matters, just because I really am not, like, serious about roles. I never have been, so yeah. Me and her were the only stallions, and I remember what am I doing here? What the, hello? How do I go around this? Hold on. What, I've done this for so many times. Oh, anyways, that was embarrassing. But yes, me and her were the only stallions, and she was like, okay, well, somebody has to choose. And she ended up just choosing herself, because, you know, like we were like, we don't really want to do this. So anyways, time goes on, and she ends up picking me. Yay, so fun. And I remember she was like, okay, well, we have to make the foal first. And I already knew what this was intending, and I was like, oh, no. I don't like do those kind of, like, I don't know, like I don't like doing anything, you know, that could relate to breeding in the game. So I was like, no. And she was like, oh, whatever. And then she just started putting things in chat, technically implying that something that would make a foal was taking place. I'm really trying to make this good. But she's trying to imply that it was taking place, but if you could tell, I wasn't chatting at all, I wasn't engaging. So it was awkward, because I was like a mile away from her, so I didn't even know what she was on about. But then a little bit goes by. It was like a few days later in the role, and I just kind of forgot about it. I just kind of moved on. I was like never with her. I was always just with my friends, like, and we would just like run off and like see if they would notice. So like we were paying no mind to the other people in the role play. But eventually she was like, oh my goodness, guys. She was like, oh my goodness, I'm pregnant. And I was like, there's no way. And I was like, oh, how could that happen? And then she explains how it could happen, and how I obviously had to be the father. And I just sat here, and guys, don't do roles, especially rod roles. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. It really isn't. I don't think it'll ever really go well. If you like doing them, there's no shame, but I'm just letting you know the consequences, because it's gonna happen to you. Something bad's gonna happen in a role. But yeah, and she was like, I mean, look at my horse's character. Like, I got this horse for, like, you know, to have a chunky characteristic, so it would, you know, imitate a pregnant mare. And I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way. And I ended up just leaving. But yeah, technically she just said I was the father, and she would just like explain how I was, and I obviously did something that would make that happen. And then they ended up adding a fool to the roleplay, but by then I had left. So again, that wasn't like an extremely weird one. Like, these aren't as bad as some, okay? These aren't as bad as some, but it's just the idea of like people getting on here and just having at it. It's like they're doing things that, you know they can't do in real life, because they'll either be called something weird because you're breeding in a horse game, or they'll be called furry for acting like a wolf. So I don't know, like maybe this is like their escape. What in the world am I doing? Sorry guys. Anyways, I told you guys I was bad at races. But yeah, I don't know. This we only have, I think, one more that I'm gonna share, so let me get into that one. Ooh, sorry. That is a wrap up for this one. Okay, so the last and final one that I have is a real writing role, writer role. You know, not the false advertisement one with the wolves. But technically, there was this one time that I was invited into a writer role. This was around the time, ooh, sorry, my chair is creaking. This was around the time that I stopped doing them. Like, I hadn't done one in like a month, and I was like, I don't like this, and I just stopped doing it. So this was like, I didn't have very high hopes, if that makes sense. But I remember I was invited to the wild role because, again, I hadn't done one in quite a while, so I wasn't like fishing, or like I wasn't looking for, you know, role plays to do. I was just invited to it by a friend. All the other ones, I said something in chat, like I would say like camp, to join the pony camp, like, you know what I mean? So this one I was just invited to, so at this point I was kind of done with them. But my friend invited me to one, and I was like, you know what, you're really sweet, like you probably have good taste or whatever. And again, I only really joined role plays with my friends. I think there's been like 2 I've joined without like either an online friend or someone I know in person. So, you know, yeah. But technically, there was this one time where my friend, as I just said, invited me to a role, and oh my goodness, what the heck? She invited me to a role, and I accepted. And I remember I brought, I don't know what horse I brought, to be honest. I don't know. I think it was like a lippy or something. And I brought my horse. I had a few realistic outfits, just a few like rider role outfits, and I went to Silverglade Manor. That's where it took place. And oh my goodness. Anyways, and I went to this rider role. I was all nice and ready to figure out that it was like it was just me and her. She was like, the group had a bunch of people in it, and it was just me and her, and I was so confused. So I get like, I'm like what's going on, like why is there nobody here? And she was like, oh, it's just gonna be a 1v1. And I was like, oh, why are there so many people in group then? Because it was like a max group, so it was 5 people. So I was like, where are the other 3? And she was like, oh, sorry, the other 3, like I just wanted to make sure you would join, so I added 3 more people, but it's just gonna be a 1v1. And I was like, okay, why lie to me? Why do this? Like, I don't think that would really get you anywhere, just because I really didn't like I don't know, like that was like a red flag to me. So at first I was like, you don't have to like lie to me or whatever, I really like don't mind. And because she was, or at least from what I knew, was a girl, I didn't really mind. So I was like, oh, it's probably not gonna be like something like romantic or anything like that, so I don't mind. And she was like, about that. And at this point, I was just like, no, this can't be happening to me. And she said, she was like, oh my goodness, I just went the wrong way. Oh my goodness. Anyways, and she was like, yeah. So I don't know. I was just kind of like trying to this point because I've never had good roleplay experiences, and I went and I was like, not went, what do you mean, I'm already here, but I was just going on with the role, and she was the boy. It was definitely just seemed like a friend kind of thing, and then just things started progressively getting worse. Like, she would say, like, in chat, like, she would something her die or whatever. I was just like, what the heck? And then I don't know, it was just like she was playing he, it'd be like he'd stare or whatever, and I was just like, what in the world? And then at this one point there was even leaning in for yeah, I just I don't know, it's kind of embarrassing to talk about these like weirder, kind of like more like romantic weird things, and this is why I'm like, ugh, maybe this is why I just shouldn't chat. This is why I don't chat that often, but obviously I have a club, I've made friends, like obviously it's just online, it's nothing personal, but yeah, I don't share personal information, I don't do anything weird because of weird people like this. So like, I guess for roleplay purposes, but I didn't really agree for something like that, so yeah. Whenever there's red flags, whenever there's something I don't really like about something, I usually just drop it because it never really ends up going good. But yes, so that is about the end. And then I unfriended her. I left group and unfriended her after I was like, okay, I don't really want to do this, it's getting really weird. So yeah, like when she logged, I unfriended her and I left group after saying that. So just to kind of not leave you on a cliffhanger. But yeah, that is a few of my weirdest roleplay experiences. I do have more, but I think that I didn't want to like leave this video super long because I kind of babbled about each one of these for really long, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, so those are some pretty weird roleplay experiences. I do have like one more super quick one. So there's this one time I joined another writer role, and somebody was like really cocky, like they were like, I'm gonna win whatever, because it was like a show one, and they were like, I'm gonna win whatever, and it was just so awkward. And then something similar, like, and that's not like a worst roleplay experience, but then there was something similar, and this person, it was like a flat show, and it was a flat show, so it's not a roleplay, it's just a flat show. And when I talked, they were role playing through it, and that was also really awkward. So that was one of the most awkward things. Like, there was a member in my club that used to role play during club practice. So yeah, anyways, that is officially the end. I had to put a few more in there. That is officially the end of what I have to say. So yeah, okay, so that brings me to the end of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and if you guys enjoy content like this, be sure to comment some ideas below on what I could potentially film, or some potential topics I could talk about when filming these videos. I really do enjoy making the Yap series, so if you guys enjoy this, please be sure to leave a like, whatever, just kind of show me that you guys actually like this, because I don't want to keep posting if you guys don't like it. But yeah, this is the end of the video. These are some of my weird roleplay experiences. Be sure to also let me know your guys' weird roleplay experiences, because if you guys want, I can make like a sequel to this, but it's yours instead of mine. Also, I want to do a Q&A in the future for one of these videos, so leave me any questions you guys have for me with a purple heart. If you guys have any questions, be sure to put a purple heart next to it in the comment section so I know to put it in my Q&A. But yeah, I want to be doing one of those in the future, so be sure to let me know any more yap topics, what I should do, as well as some questions you may have for me. But that is it, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye.